Thank you, Sharon, and thank you to all three of our speakers. Well, I'm Linda Clark, and I'm not a GP, and I'm intrigued actually that the body part you've associated with yourselves is the backbone, which, you know, sounds, I think the analogy is a fair and a very sound one. I actually work as a lawyer these days, and the body part that we associate ourselves with is really the hip pocket, but but there you are. The last time I spoke at a GP's conference, it wasn't one of yours, it was the sort of General GPs Association or GP Society, whatever they call themselves, I can't remember now. Off the top of my head, that's rude, but there we are. And I gave a keynote address at one of their functions, and the very, very off-putting thing about it was that in the front row was my own GP, and the very day previous to that, I'd had my sort of annual warrant of fitness. There is nothing more disconcerting than giving a speech in front of a man who 24 hours before had a speculum in his hand. So I'm thrilled to say that none of you are my GP, but I'm sure you're all very good at your jobs. Now, I have a very easy role this morning, which is simply to corral this bunch. As our previous speakers so respectfully said, the politicians. Now, when you get the politicians in a room, you have to have somebody to wrangle them. Otherwise, that's it. There's 191 days to election day. They could be speaking right up until polling day. So we're going to avoid that. So what we're going to do, this is how it works, because we want you to have a lot of say too. This is where we remind them respectfully that actually it's the voters that count. So what's going to happen is each of our politicians, who has very generously actually given of their time this morning, and we appreciate that, each of the politicians is going to get an opportunity to stand here and give what will be the sort of opening remarks, their branding statement, if you will. Hopefully they'll respond to some of the points that have been made. If they don't, we will get to that. And then we're going to open it up to questions. So if you hear something in the course of the next 15 minutes and you have a burning desire to respond to, please do not stand up and start shrieking. We can deal with that later. But what we would like is some questions from you as soon as they begin. I mean, I've got plenty of questions, but let's face it, yours are going to be a lot more intelligent. Right, in no particular order, but he is sitting closest to me, I'd like to introduce National's Paul Hutchinson.